Skyscraper is the newest action movie to star The Rock. Or is it Dwayne Johnson he likes to be called now? I know Rock was his wrestling name, but alright, Dwayne Johnson. If I'm being honest, this definitely wasn't a movie that I had a whole lot of confidence in. Seems like a pretty generic action movie. Kind of seems like a ripoff of Die Hard when I saw the trailer for it. You have this guy, he used to be in law enforcement, he's in this building, there's some terrorists trying to take it over, and he's the only one that can stop them. So we have Dwayne Johnson. He used to work in the FBI until a horrible accident and them trying to stop a terrorist led to him having his leg amputated. Since then, he got married to the nurse that helped save his life. They have 2 kids together, and now he's working as essentially the safety inspector to this new building that has been built. This new building he's inspecting is called the Pearl, and the reason this thing is such a big deal, it has now become the tallest building in the world. I will say, the Pearl definitely looked cool when I saw it. I liked the design. I liked how each floor essentially was its own thing. So you have one floor that's kind of like a forest, and then you have one floor that's basically an apartment complex, and then you have the big floor at the very top, which is the Pearl itself, which just oversees everything. It's got mirrors everywhere. It's nice seeing what the features have, and I could definitely see something like this being built in the future. I would say, Dwayne Johnson in this movie, we all kind of know what he is as an actor. You watch really any of the movies that he's been in. Is he the greatest actor ever? No. But does he always do the job that he needs to get it done? Yes. The same applies here. You know, you can tell he's a loving family man. You can tell that he really wants to be good at this job. He wants this building to succeed. But what I like seeing is he's talking to the owners and the people who constructed this hotel, and he's like, look, this thing is huge. Any little problem goes on in here, bad things could happen. You know, they try to tell him, like, oh, this thing has security everywhere. There's absolutely nothing that could go wrong here. But soon you realize that the Pearl is being used essentially as security for containment of some information regarding these terrorists. Turns out this group of terrorists had this information regarding money laundering. The architect was able to get it all into this file that's going to expose them, that's going to send them to prison. So he's got that locked away. And they, however, want to get their hands on it because if they can, not only are their names clear, they have the money to essentially do whatever they want. So with that, the terrorists, they of course find a way to break into the Pearl. They set the 96th floor on fire, which is where Dwayne Johnson's family is, and they're going to stop at nothing to get this information. And again, where I say this goes back to Die Hard is, you know, you have this group of terrorists, they're after something, they're led by this head guy, and he's, you know, the main villain of the movie. Unlike Die Hard, though, this villain, though, wasn't very memorable. I mean, he's just kind of there. He doesn't really do anything that's really gonna make me go, oh wow, that guy was a great villain. That guy was awesome. The actor knows he's there to get a paycheck, and he's just doing what he can to get said paycheck. So now Dwayne Johnson knows, because he understands the building so well, that he's the only one who's gonna be able to save his family, so he's gonna get up to that 96th floor and get them out of this building. And I will say, it's Dwayne Johnson breaking into the building to save his family. This is definitely where the movie picked up for me, and I was actually having a pretty good time with it. It is very impressive seeing him get very inventive in the ways he has to break into the building. One way in particular I thought was cool. He used this crane that's been used to construct the building. He used that as a way to break the building, as a way to get inside it. But of course he has to get away from the SWAT team because they don't know what the hell he's doing. So you now have to buy that, you know, he and his amputee leg can just run across this crane, jump like 20 feet into the building. That is the other thing to consider. You do have to suspend your disbelief with this movie a little bit. What I do like seeing with Dwayne Johnson, though, is the fact that, you know, once he's in the building and he's gonna get his family out of there, it's how he's able to work with his kids and getting them out. In particular with his son, because his son's really young, doesn't really know what's happening, he's scared, and, you know, Dwayne Johnson, he tells him, it's like, it's okay to be scared, because that's the only way to be brave. Even Dwayne Johnson's wife in this movie, she does a good job for what she needs to do. She's not like a useless female character, like a damsel in distress or anything like that. She has her own military experience, so you buy that, you know, she's a little more gutsy, she's a little more brave in these situations. She's able to help the kids along the way. She's actually able to contribute something for this movie, which you're not really used to seeing, so I gotta give the movie props there. And again, there's also a moment where, you know, she's basically got her son on her shoulders, and they have to walk across this really narrow wooden beam to get over to Dwayne Johnson, and he's trying to hold the thing up, and, you know, you accept that he can because he's Dwayne Johnson, and he's huge, he's superhuman. But even still, the beam almost breaks, the son almost falls off into the fire, and, you know, they're basically hanging on for dear life, and they're just able to get to cross before Dwayne Johnson just can't hang on anymore. So that's what I gotta say. The movie actually does a pretty good job of keeping you on the edge of your seat. When it wants to be suspenseful, it pulls it off. So Dwayne Johnson is able to get the 2 of them out, but he's still gonna get his daughter out because she went hiding from the terrorists. Of course, the terrorists realize that this little girl is Dwayne Johnson's daughter, so the head of the terrorists, he tells him, hey, you're gonna go get me the information that we came for, or I'm gonna throw your daughter off the fucking building. So I guess that's one thing the terrorist did that was pretty evil. I mean, you know, he's prepared to kill this little kid if Dwayne Johnson doesn't give him what he wants. So, you know, I'll give him that, but still, it's not enough for me to say, oh, that guy was a memorable villain. It's just, it's kind of a generic bad guy. So if my memory serves, in order for Dwayne Johnson to get it, he actually has to find a way to, like, strap himself, like, makeshift style to this pole to keep him from falling out of the building. Then, you know, scale all the way around the building over to the section where they keep that information. And as he's trying to get back up the building with the information, the little rope starts to break on him, and, you know, he's just hanging there by his amputee leg, and, you know, that thing comes off him, and he's able to grab onto that, then just climb his way back up. It's that scene you saw in the trailer. That's just how the rest of it unfolds. But again, it's intense, suspenseful, and when he scales the building and gets back inside, you're just like... And now Dwayne Johnson reunites with the architect, and, you know, he discusses with him, it's like, I need you to help me get my daughter back, and we need to stop these guys. And, you know, the architect's like, alright, let's get a plan together. So they're able to meet with the head of the terrorist at the top of the roof, where, you know, the plan's supposed to go down, and, you know, they create this little diversion, they create a distraction, and now they're in that room with all those mirrors. And, you know, they essentially use the mirrors to kind of, you know, confuse the terrorists, thinking, oh, we're over here, but we're actually over here, and then Dwayne Johnson just kicks them off the building. And the issue I had with that scene is, you know, you expect the final climatic battle between the hero and the villain to at least be something that's, you know, intense, exciting, fun. Here, it's kind of extremely predictable what happens. When I saw it in the movie, I'm just like, oh, that's just completely foreshadowing for what's gonna come later. And that is a bit of a bummer when you look back on this movie. It is kind of just foreshadowing for everything that's gonna happen in it. So there's that incident, you know, earlier in the movie, Dwayne Johnson's wife doesn't know how to fix her iPhone, so, you know, he just turns it off and turns it back on. He's like, there, it's fixed. And then later on, once she's made it to the ground, she's working with the FBI in China, you know, how to, you know, stop the terrorists. You know, she finds her stolen tablet, and she just turns it off and turns it back on, and that just, you know, reignites the safety system in the building, so now the fire goes out. So yeah, a lot of conveniences and a lot of foreshadowing. But yeah, with that, the terrorists are defeated, Dwayne Johnson's able to save the building and his daughter, and, you know, now everyone's okay. So all in all, for me, Skyscraper was just a pretty average movie. Dwayne Johnson does what he needs to do in this movie. You get behind his character is likable, his character is badass for the most part. I mean, he's definitely not on John McClane's level of badassery that the movie tries to make him out to be, but he's badass enough. I liked seeing what this building looked like. I bought that it was the tallest structure in the world and the features it had for itself. The movie is a lot more suspenseful and intense than I definitely thought it was going to be. That being said, the terrorists in this movie, they are very generic villains. The movie definitely takes a while to get going. The movie has a bunch of setup for essentially everything that's going to happen later on. And in the end, is the movie as bad as I thought it was going to be? No. But I still can't deny it is basically a cheap knockoff of Die Hard. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I will see you all next time.